getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
What is going on, YouTube? 5.0 Primo back with another video. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button. If you find this channel informative or interesting, hit that like button for me. It helps me out a lot, guys. So today's video, yeah, we are stuck in my garage. As you can see, there's water on my windows. It's been pretty bad weather for the past couple of weekends, so I'm gonna film a video in my garage in the Mustang, talking about monitoring live data. So if you're like me and you didn't jump on the ngauge right before they went out of business, you're kind of stuck either choosing a SCT product or UCal that hasn't even dropped yet, that people have already done pre-orders for, or getting the RTD MPVI2 tuning device, excuse me. So, and that's obviously where I went. The only thing with that is you gotta be careful, make sure that your tuner can support the device. Get with your tuner on whoever you decide to tune, and they will tell you, you know, what devices they support. I went ngauge Performance, and ngauge Performance supports the RTD. They support the MPVI2. I think they still support the ngauge. I'm not sure. The next best thing I ended up picking up was this guy. It's called a V-Gate. Picked it up off Amazon for 15 bucks. I'll drop a link in the description below. But yeah, so I picked up this V-Gate. It's a device you just simply plug into your connector, your data link connector, and then you can Wi-Fi to your phone to an app. So 15 bucks for this guy. Then I went and downloaded an app called OBD Fusion. Downloaded OBD Fusion, and I upgraded to the premium version of the app, just because one of the main things I want to monitor is my IAT2, and the free version of the app didn't have the IAT2 options. So when I downloaded the premium, found the IAT2, because that's one of the main things you want to monitor when boosted. So if you have that issue where you don't have an ngauge, SCT, or any of that, here's another good option for you. It's a cheap option, 30 bucks. The premium app was like $15. This was $15, 30 bucks right there. Saves a lot of money, and you can do pretty much the same things that you would be able to do with the ngauge. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the app. I'm gonna plug this guy up to the car and just kind of show y'all what I see on the screen. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right. So it's gonna go through a scan for a bit. It's gonna ask you a couple of questions. Just gonna hit OK now. So this is where it's gonna ask you, pulls up your vehicle, 2019 Ford Mustang. Just gonna hit connect. It's gonna ask this weird question if you're using an adapter for MS CAN. No, we're not. And it's pretty much connected at this point. So I guess we can go to show you the PIDs that I have already set up, and this is pretty much what I use, what I monitor. We have intake air temp 1, intake air temp 2. We have engine RPM, engine oil pressure, engine coolant temp, and the fuel rub pressure. And those are pretty much the things I like to monitor. I actually have some other stuff that I do monitor as well. I have field trim 1, field trim 2, and so forth. These obviously aren't active. Yeah, so these are my field trims. I usually I started monitoring these things when the weather is colder. I want to make sure my BAP, I have a booster pump only at this time, so I want to make sure my BAP, you know, is working properly right before doing a pull. So I have these set up so that way if the car is running too lean, I can know beforehand. But so this kind of tells you if your air fuel mixtures are good, whether it's running too lean or too rich. Everything's looking good here, so I usually keep it on this screen, but I'll kind of switch over right before a pull or before staging just to kind of look at this. But then I have my boost. I usually don't look at this one, it just looks kind of cool seeing a boost gauge. But so these are the PIDs that I have. Now you can set up a PID, you can delete a PID, you can find any other PID that you'd like. We'll go ahead and remove this display. Do you want to remove? Yes. And you just come down here, hit the little three bar, and just hit add display. You can choose whether you want to do a radial gauge or digital gauge. So let's see what the radial gauge looks like. This is what the radial gauge looks like. But you can choose to do digital gauge. Let's see, it's style. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. No, display configuration. So you can change the kind of PID that you want to be monitoring. Obviously it's on vehicle speed at the moment. We can change it. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and delete it just so I can show y'all how I normally do it. So I come down here, I don't, depending on what kind of gauge it is, so I'm gonna use digital gauge. That's what I'm used to. That's how I have all my other ones set up. You can pick a color, what you want the background to look like. We'll go with dark white. So here it'll say, okay, well, what PID do you want it to be? So you click on vehicle speed, and there's many different things that you could choose from. You can pick regular standard PIDs. So this is where I had to get the premium, because I couldn't find intake air temp 2 or inlet air temp 2, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't find it on the standard SAE PIDs. So I actually had to get the premium, and it pulls up Ford, Lincoln, Mercury right here. And then you go down, see it's different modules. You got the parking aid module, accessory, body control module. Obviously it's going to be a power control module, and these have more accurate PIDs because this is for Ford. It obviously communicated with the 19 Mustang. So you just scroll down. Obviously it's in alphabetical order. So scroll down to the eyes, and let's see. You are at, there we go. So there it is. Intake air temperature 2. So you can obviously click on whether you want it for voltage, you want to do Celsius, Fahrenheit, but that's one of the most important PIDs to monitor. So we're gonna hit done, and so hit done, hit OK, and now it's reading my intake air temp 2, 96.8. Cool. So obviously that's legit. It's good, safe to do a pull, whatever. So, but I mean, there's so much things that you can monitor with this thing. Let's see. Let's just look around for some stuff, because I haven't went through this completely. There's so much stuff you can monitor though. Oh cool, transmission. Let's see what our trans fluid temp's at. So you got trans fluid as well. If you do like course tracking, obviously trans fluid temp's a good thing to monitor. Then I got this cool little mount. So it's pretty much my ghetto N-gauge. Just have a magnet on the back. Set that guy up right here. and I go do my pulls. So now that we went through some PIDs, let's go and look at some other stuff that this app has to offer. I mean, you can do, I've never been to performance, curious on what this is. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. It's like a draggy. Maybe I'll mess around with this for y'all some other time. But anyways, sorry about that. I just got real interested in that now. But yeah, also diagnostics. When I ran, we'll go ahead and click on generic OBD2. When I ran at the track and hit that 1080, look at that, no trouble codes found, sweet. Yeah, anyways, when I ran at the track and hit that 1080 and on those second and third pass and I started having the lean issues, it had the freeze frame data for me and it showed me the actual fuel trims of when I was running lean. So that helped out a lot. That told me, okay, I need a booster pump, and so I was able to pick that up, install it, haven't had any issues since. So this helped me, if anything, guys. This really did help me out. But you can, and the good thing with this is you can plug it into any other vehicle. So if you got a daily that, you know, throws a check engine light, there you go. You can pull the code at least and see what's going on. Maps, I don't know what maps is. Logs. Oh, that's pretty dope. And you can even graph stuff. So if your mass airflow sensor is acting silly, you can graph it. If your throttle body is sticking, you can graph it. So I mean, if you really understand like data on a car, this can really be useful. Let me turn this around. With that said, guys, hope you found this video useful and informative. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button. Really appreciate it. Until next time, peace.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living.